On the first day of restoration, God divided day from night, and the first day was over. That left 5 more days for God to restore the earth. But remember, the whole earth was covered by a deep layer of water. So on the second day, God said there should be air around the earth, an atmosphere, separating an upper layer of water from the lower surface waters. The Holy Spirit made a space right in the middle of the water. That's Genesis 1, 6 through 7. In verse 6, God said, "Let there be an expanse, or an atmosphere, in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." The layer of air we breathe, called the atmosphere, covered the water on the surface of the earth. The upper layer of water kept the earth shaded from the sun and kept the earth comfortable. It protected the earth from the devastating effects of solar radiation. Emily, if you lived back then, you wouldn't need sunscreen or umbrellas or heavy winter coats. It never got very hot or very cold. It never rained nor snowed. Later on, we find out that the trees and plants were watered by a mist that came up from the waters below the earth. God has already made some big changes. There was light and there was darkness. There was water on the surface of the earth and a band of air, and on top of that another layer of water. Even today, immense oceans of water are stored below the surface of the earth. In Genesis 7:11, when the worldwide flood occurred, water burst from below and the floodgates of the sky were open. Let me show you. Noah's Ark was more like a submarine than a ship that floats on top of the water. We'll study that later. Nothing is too hard for God to do. That's Jeremiah 32:27. Ed, try this. Hold your breath. Living creatures need 2 things, light and air. Light gives energy and power, and living things need air to breathe. Okay, Ed, breathe. Air is one of God's gifts to you. Notice in Genesis 1:8, God called the atmosphere or the sky heaven. And again, God demonstrates the importance of vocabulary. Learn a few words every day. Listen to this. God gave names to his creation during the first 4 days. He called the light day, the darkness night, and he named the earth and the seas. Then, in Genesis 2:19, he assigned the job of naming everything to Adam. Thousands and thousands of names. That's a big job. No monkey can do that. Adam was smart from the very first. And the cycle of light and darkness concludes the second day of restoration.